With today's technology and great minds, I think it is fair to assume that by now we would have seen pretty much every part of the Earth. But fortunately, that isn't the case, and we still encounter marvelous and mind-blowing discoveries all of the time. In today's video, we will talk about what mind-blowing discoveries experts have made recently while exploring Africa. Quite a while back, pieces of an African uranium store unexpectedly went through atomic parting. In 1972, a laborer at an atomic fuel handling plant saw something dubious in a standard examination of uranium got from a mineral source in Africa. Similarly, as with all normal uranium, the material under a concentration contained three isotopes-three structures with various nuclear masses: uranium-238, the most plentiful assortment; uranium-234, the most uncommon; and uranium-235, the isotope that can support an atomic chain response. For a long time, experts at the French Nuclear Energy Commission, CEA, stayed confounded. Somewhere else in the world's outside, on the moon and, surprisingly, in shooting stars, we can find uranium-235 iotas that make up just 0.720% of the aggregate. In any case, in the examples that were examined, which came from the Oklo store in Gabon, a previous French state in West Africa, the uranium-235 comprised just 0.717%. That little distinction was sufficient to caution French researchers that there was something exceptionally bizarre happening with the minerals. These little subtleties prompted further examinations which showed that essentially a piece of the mine was well underneath the standard measure of uranium-235. Nearly 200 kilograms seemed to have been extricated in the far-off past. Today, that sum is sufficient to make about 6 atomic bombs. Before long, specialists and researchers from everywhere in the world accumulated in Gabon to investigate what was the deal with the uranium from Oklo. What was found in Oklo astonished everybody accumulated there. The site where the uranium started from is a high-level underground atomic reactor that works out positively past the capacities of our present logical information. Scientists accept that this antiquated atomic reactor is around 1.8 billion years of age and worked for no less than 500,000 years in the far-off past. Researchers carried out a few different examinations at the uranium mine, and the outcomes were disclosed at a gathering of the Worldwide Nuclear Energy Organization. As to news organizations from Africa, specialists had found hints of splitting items and fuel squanders at different areas inside the mine. Unimaginably, contrasted in this monstrous atomic reactor, our cutting-edge atomic reactors are not equivalent both in plan and usefulness. As indicated by studies, this antiquated atomic reactor was a few kilometers in length. Strangely, for an enormous atomic reactor like this, the warm effect towards the climate was restricted to only 40 meters on the sides. What specialists viewed as significantly amazing are radioactive squanders that have still not moved beyond the site, as they have still held set up because of the topography of the area. It is amazing that an atomic response had happened such that the plutonium, the result, was made, and the atomic response itself had been directed. This is something viewed as a sacred goal of nuclear science. The capacity to direct the response implies that once the response was started, it was feasible to use the resulting power in a controlled manner, with the ability to forestall devastating blasts or the arrival of energy at a solitary time. Specialists have named the atomic reactor at Oklo a characteristic atomic reactor, yet reality with regards to it goes a long way past our typical comprehension. A portion of the specialists that partook in the testing of the atomic reactor reasoned that the minerals had been enhanced in the far-off past, around 1.8 quite a while back, to deliver a chain response unexpectedly. They likewise found that water had been utilized to direct the response, similarly that cutting-edge atomic reactors cooled down utilizing graphite-cadmium shafts, keeping the reactor from going into a basic state and detonating. All of this is in nature. In any case, Dr. Glenn T. Seaborg, previous top of the U.S. Nuclear Energy Commission and Nobel Prize champ for his work in the union of weighty components, directed out that for uranium toward consume in a response, conditions should be precisely on. For instance, the water associated with the atomic response should be incredibly unadulterated. Indeed, even a couple of parts for every million of impurities will poison the response, stopping it. That's what the issue is. No unadulterated water exists normally any place on the planet. A few experts discuss the unimaginable atomic reactor at Oklo, expressing that never in the geographically assessed history of the Oklo stores was the uranium adequately plentiful uranium-235 for a characteristic atomic response to happen. At the point when these stores were shaped in the far-off past, because of the gradualness of the radioactive rot of U-235, the fissionable material would have comprised just 3% of the all-out stores, something excessively low numerically representing an atomic response to occur. Nonetheless, a response occurred strangely, recommending that the first uranium was far more extravagant in uranium-235 than that in character development. Well, that's it for today. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments section. And if you enjoy our content, and never want to miss a video, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching.